bitch.
Oh my god.
Girl, girl. We need to tweet at Mickey. He needs to answer for his war crimes right now.
I gotta breathe. I don't know what I thought this was gonna be. I
Mickey
need to
needs
breathe.
to answer for his war crimes, okay? Because let me be fucking clear. I thought HBO did too much to me with Scenes from a Marriage, right? Like Scenes from a Marriage had me talking to my therapist about that fucking every like that limited series. I pay 120 to talk to my therapist a session. But industry, this episode, this is gonna take away.
Oh no. I'm like in tears right now. Like I'm tearing up. My left eye tearing up. I can't believe it. Oh my
I
god. I am so tired. I am so glad that's the couldn't take anything more. I could not. I need rest. I have to rest. I can't believe it. No. Mm-mm.
like, where do we start?
Sine qua non. Okay? No.
Okay, what does that mean? I did not look that up. I did look up what the Coots card was. I could share my tweet about that, but I did not look that up because I was still shaking.
I'm literally still shaking. So sine qua non means it's like essential and like you can't do without this. Like it is an essential condition. Like he said it in the context because it's an essential because so sine qua non means that this cannot occur without this.
Mm.
So yes, there's no job at Pierpoint without this. Sine qua non, sweetie.
Oh my, okay.
Latin
Like,
for I think sine means like without. So like
yeah, it makes me think about sin, like without, like,
yeah, in Spanish, I speak
yep,
Spanish, so yep. And then yeah, ciao. I Why did Eric do that? I think
Okay,
he's protecting her, but
I,
fuck.
I think he's protecting her from herself.
Yeah, I mean, he said he's like, I'm doing this for you. And the way she thought it was the Bloom situation, oh, no, no, sweetie. No, 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 no,
Because
no, no,
he
no.
doesn't want her to go to jail. He's just like, bro, I'm not gonna let you
Yes.
go to jail, but like the fact that you're now doing some shit like insider trading
Trading?
to
Yep.
get keep your fucking job,
Yeah.
girl.
I'm protecting you because this is not going to go well.
And
And I don't.
Eric's been trying to get her to go to therapy. Maybe if she went to therapy, she wouldn't have done insider trading. I don't know.
Episode 1, he tried to get a go training job. He did. Episode 1 and 2. Mm-mm. The way that they did this beautifully, because I have watched 8 episodes of this and I completely forgot that Eric had this on her, and it was burned into my brain for the first episode. I was like, oh no, Eric has this on her. Eric always going, and the way he threw that big joker out at the end of the,
I remembered that, like, this is the thing. I like no, I like it wasn't a thing that I forgot, but like it was Chekhov's diploma.
I mean, they've used it many, many times, but I like,
It
I
was
could not.
Chekhov's diploma.
She was like, the way that they threw so many curveballs and issues at us, the way
Like
I would never in a million years. I was
Eric,
like, oh my God.
no, like Eric was actually like, did you notice like as Eric was bringing her up to slaughter, like a sacrificial lamb?
I'm doing this for you.
Like when he
Yep.
was bringing her up to slaughter, I don't know if you like, he was like shaking, and like the way that he was shaking, I was first like, oh my god, is Eric gonna have a heart attack? Like, is the business stressing him out that badly? Because I've been watching House of Dragons, and that you be seeing Viserys' old ass about to stroke out every fucking episode.
He looked like he
So
had that little stone stuff too.
yeah, so Eric looked like he was about to stroke out. Because I've been watching House of Dragons. I know what old men look like when they're about to stroke out. They look like Eric. They look like Viserys.
I
And actually, it was us that was about to stroke out. I said, oh shit. Stroke knows no age.
I
It's
ain't never
me.
been to no investment banking stuff. I I'm like, not my career on the line. My career's on the line. I couldn't believe it. Not Harper. You know what? I'm glad. You know what? This is like the first time that Eric made a tough fatherly decision. He finally like stepped in and made like, all right, I am going to actually protect this girl and stop putting her down this crazy path. Cause like I have been an enabler this entire time.
He's literally
But
no, like
it's so fucked up though.
it was so fucked. Like, oh my god, I loved how like she called him dad, and then you remember how like Jesse Bloom also referred to Harper as like her kid, his kid. So like I feel like
That's what
as
I'm
Eric was
saying.
watching this, Eric was like, "Oh my
Eric
god,
was
I could
acting
be."
as a father.
He was like, "I could let you be a child to Jesse Bloom, or I could be a father
Father
to
to
you."
you. I'm
Because he
telling you.
wasn't going to be a father to DVD. DVD was like, "Okay, now they're going to
He's
see
not a
stuff."
father to his own kids because remember his own kids is like, well, we don't really care if you're here, dad. But he's like, I
Right.
got to be a father to somebody, and that was a fatherly decision to make. Jerusalem, that was a fatherly decision to make.
Yeah, he sacrificed like for Eric so loved Harper that he gave up.
Girl,
Oh my god,
when I tell you I retweeted that and I said I should have known. I should have known.
yo. Oh
When
my
they titled this shit Jerusalem, I should have
yo.
known. I don't know what I thought because I saw it and I was like, all right, Mickey, I see what you're doing here. Cool, great, marriage. I know some shit finna go down. It's a finale. Mm-mm. What a way to not only tie in things. Oh my God. They tied in 2 episodes or 2 seasons perfectly. Oh my God. I cannot believe it. The way I tell you, Harper take you on a fucking roller coaster. She'll take you on a fucking roller coaster. And the way that she had to get off this roller coaster just now by Eric being making a fatherly decision right after Yasmin's father made a fatherly decision. Fuck him, right? But
Yo.
like so many people are making fatherly decisions in this Jerusalem. Oh my God. I can't believe this. I can't believe he did Harper like that. You remember when I told you my friend was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't stand Harper."
Mhm.
For a second, I felt him during this episode. I was like,
Yo, when she
Rishi,
okay,
why
when
is he
she fucked
fucking Rishi?
honestly, like I feel like I Harper is you know Harper is I don't like to use the word toxic because it's like very much
It
like
doesn't.
under but Harper is one of the best female villains on TV hands down. And like let's just,
Well, let's just take out the females, period, and let's just say villain,
you're right
period,
because you're right, best villain because like
period.
you because like how Serena isn't like the best female athlete of all
Right,
time. Serena is
exactly.
just the best athlete of all time.
Period,
Goat.
and let's talk about it.
Harper is a goat villain, okay?
Oh, I girl, they started this episode hating each other.
Harper
Not the.
is
Oh,
so I feel so honestly, I kind of feel like Rishi knew that Harper was going to get fucked over by Eric.
oh, he definitely did because the way he tried to fake, like, is everything okay? I think
Yeah.
Rishi, like, okay, I'm so glad you saw that because I was like, am I tripping right now? Rishi, a little snake, which is why he cheated on his wife at his own freaking wedding. It's giving Shiv and Tom. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways,
Yo, no, so like I think that's like Harper and like Rishi were like two sides of the same coin. So like Harper, because she is toxic, I feel like the only time she knows intimacy and how to give is when it does involve sex.
here's the thing. They use the word that we need to use and not just toxic,
Predator.
which is
Oh,
poison.
oh,
Poison.
poison. Sure.
She's like,
Yes.
"Are you think I'm? Do you think I'm poison?" She is poison, not poison ivy. That's a different love than my girl. Hey Bradford, come on in. Um, she's absolutely poison. So two things for me for the Rishi Harper situation. Number one, Rishi is a fucking snake that hates himself, and he knows that, and he's hyper aware of it. But in the moments where he figured out that not only was Harper psychotic, right, is what he called her in that moment, which it's like you're both psychotic, so like takes one to know one, Rishi. But I think the fact that he kind of had an idea that like some shit was popping off, I think that turned him on. It's the
Yeah.
same shit with Yasmin has like this power issue that turns her on. Rishi has the same fucking issue. And he was like, oh my gosh, like actually, she's been making big plays, but I'm still better than her and I'm still more secure in her and I'm still quote unquote doing what I'm supposed to do in my life. And I kind of like still have power over her, even though it hasn't seemed like it for a while. And I think that's what turned him on because he said he had to get the poison out. And I think that's what the poison was. Like, the poison is the fact that, like, I'm actually attracted to you now because I feel like I still have one up on you. I feel like you still need me. And I feel like since I'm getting married and I'm already rich and you're still trying to come up, that, like, I'm gonna get it out. Like it's like the sexual tension between like it's like the childish, like, like, oh, I don't like you or oh I'm gonna, be mean to you, but like with drugs and money and adults. Like Rishi's awful. But Rishi thinks that he's doing the right thing. And that's what makes him different because Harper knows that she's never doing the right thing. She knows it and she doesn't fucking care.
Yo, so first of all, like the dialogue between Rishi and like DVD when Harper and Eric are having like a real conversation had me weak as fuck. DVD was like, I was almost married too. Yeah, but then I came and I saw her. I was in a frat. They were my brothers and they were doing a threesome. And Rishi was like, I feel the same way. I walked in my mom and my dad having sex. DVD's trying to understand. Okay, so what did
DVD's
you
like, wait,
what
what?
did you do? What did you do? I shook my dad's hand and said, "Good job. Keep nailing her." Nigga, what?
Rishi is a fucking mess. The way DVD went out sad and I rejoiced. The way DVD went out sad and I rejoiced. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
He looked silly. Nobody care about no DVD. Boy. No, they did DVD so like obviously they did him dirty, but like they did it perfectly for like the way that he was introduced, the way that he was never actually well liked, the way that like he kind of fucked Harper over, but then made it seem like he was doing a good thing. And remember when I told you that one of the people that has been in the space before was like, oh, I told you he was a good dude. And I was like, no, he's not. And I think I told you that too, Renee. I was like,
Yeah.
no, DVD is not a good guy. The bar for being a good person is not being awful about sexual assault and harassment. Like that's the minimum. To denounce sexual assault does not make you good. He's a dick, but he is at least kind of more heavily influenced in his like emotions and it wears him a little bit more on his sleeve, I guess, which isn't saying much compared to the other characters, but at least he's a delicate guy. He's a piece of shit, but he's delicate. He's not good.
Yes, he's very
Yeah.
delicate,
He's
but
very
like
delicate.
he's
why
very
why do I hear the huffing and puffing in your voice?
he is very.
You
I'm
said
just.
yes.
I think I'm still kind of like. Okay, so honestly, I have to share this tweet that I made because it had me shook as hell. Like because honestly, we're gonna have to like if you're down with this, can we like talk about this again on like Wednesday? Because I feel like this is just like this is just like the processing like this is the processing space.
Yep.
And then like maybe like Wednesday is like where we can have just like real discussions. But I just like feel like I feel like I'm just getting like feelings out right now. Like I feel like I'm in therapy right now. I feel
Do you remember our first What We Watch Spaces last year That's exactly what this space is for. Remember we being there with Insecure, Succession,
Yes.
like immediate. I told you like people were always like so happy about it. Like, okay, I get to get my feelings out right now. I get to get my thoughts out. I get to be reeling over it right now. But when you wait a couple of days, what we watch got you because then you kind of can figure everything out
Mhm.
and really put your thoughts together. But it's amazing. These first feelings are, yeah, I'm shook. I'm like very, very shook because the Yasmin Harper scene had me dead. I
Like,
said, not them rubbing elbows, touching shoulders, giggling and making eye contact now that Yasmin is a broke girl.
okay.
No, they are not. No, she is not giggling and smiling because she's like, oh my God, I do understand what it means
First
to
of
not
all, when
have
Yasmin
money.
skipped a bill, I said, "Oh my god." Yasmin looked at a fucking bill for the first time and was scared. I said, "Yasmin, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome, sweetie. It's called a budget. Stick to it." It's called a budget.
Girl,
And then she skipped out
girl,
that bill
the
like a broke bitch. I said, "A budget, sweetie."
didn't I tell your ass? Yasmin wanted to be so bad the girl that she was made by herself and on her own. All right, Yasmin, this what you gonna get. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. I have a feeling her dad is not gonna stick to his guns because he a bitch anyways.
Yeah, he's not.
However, I'm glad she gets to experience it a little bit because Harper was getting going in on her ass all season. And I'm glad. And Harper has no idea she's sitting next to a broke gal that has to work to make a living. I can't wait to see it. Season 3 can be all Yasmin trying to make it in the living, make a living. I'm in. I'm tapped in.
Like, oh my god. It
You
so
said welcome,
dog.
sweetie.
First of all, okay, so also I want to talk about Celeste and Yasmin, and this is the tweet I shared. Well, I was like, what was so ruthless about Celeste? She cut Yasmin down to the same language she used to seduce her.
Nope.
I said, yo, that was so intentional by the writers. Like, I was like, like this episode in so many ways was live by the sword, die by the sword.
Eric, Harper Sword was her diploma, or lack thereof, sweeties. Um, DVD, Rishi, I can't call it with Rishi. Rishi had to. Rishi fucked and cheated on his wife. I mean, Harper got a little bit on him now, so I don't know.
I mean,
But
Richie. I mean, his sword is there, but like,
yeah,
like how
but
Yasmin got like seduced by Celeste with like French, and like she was into it, and they were speaking in French when they was about to fuck. When Celeste was like, "Your only value to me was your father. There's tons of girls like you."
no, no,
I
no.
was like,
No, and when she said there's tons of girl like you, and I mean exactly like you. Did you hear that in French?
"Yes."
Exactement comme toi. Okay?
I said, "Oh my fucking god!" She said, "Bitch, you're not special." Like she basically said,
Not
"Your
at
pussy not
all.
even good.
It,
Your pussy
in
not good."
this whole episode was Yasmin realizing she not special.
Yo, her daddy said, okay. He
Okay,
was like, "Oh,
well,
you want to come for me? You want to come for my
you know
ass?"
what's so fucked up too is Yasmin finally decided to speak out against sexual assault, and this is what happened. Jesus
Yo,
Christ.
Jasmine's like gonna be like, I'm gonna stay
Yasmin gonna be
silent,
like, nah,
okay?
fuck all of that. And what does Celeste tell her? Are you going to join the forces and do what you need to do, or are you going to try to change that and get left behind? And I
Celeste
said,
was like,
no,
"I'm
that's a
too
bar.
old to." She's like, "I'm too old to be with a
With the Crusaders, that's what she said.
crusader." I said, she
I
was like,
said, oh my gosh, she did not call the millennials Crusaders.
"Okay, like
She
you
called
should have
all of us
known."
Crusaders.
Like Yasmin should have known that Celeste was on some bullshit when Celeste said, "Three of my clients were in Jeffrey Epstein's black book."
and and the way she said it effortlessly, like she kept flipping through her book, and she was like, so anyways, I gotta get this next meeting.
Yeah, she was like,
She was like,
you
if
know, your
you
daddy hit on me. You know, your daddy hit on me, and I was worried that he was gonna remember, and then he forgot. So thank God he forgot.
thank God he forgot that he's what you're trying to find, what you're just now finding out. I've been knowing. I was like, Jesus
And then and Yasmin
Christ.
didn't get it then. The Yasmin tried to do it. Celeste was like, I Celeste was like, I worked to get to where you started. I said, oh my God, like Yasmin
She
is
sounded,
missing.
Celeste started to sound like her for a little bit. She was like, sweetie, you are just like everybody else. You didn't work for this. I worked for the way that Celeste, like you said, like the way Celeste left her hanging and the way that she brought her into that, reeled her and roped her in into that, and then just to say, sweetie, I'm not aligned with you. I'm aligned with your father. Your father is my client. Your value to me is your father.
Like
I
not even
work
your
for
pussy
myself. I
girl.
don't, because I feel like the introduction of this relationship was, oh, Yasmin's going to be like Celeste. And this ended with Celeste being like, oh, no, 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 sweetie. I did the work. I didn't have a rich father to get into this. I had to struggle to get here, okay?
And then what kind of sucks too? It was like Maxim, he introduced Yasmin to Celeste because he was like, oh, Celeste, I
It's
know
going to be
somebody who's a
easy.
different client.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't think he thought Celeste was gonna like fuck Yasmin, and I think like in that he felt jealousy and maybe like guilt, but he was just like, like I don't know if I have like a financial planner, and like my financial planner will be like, "Oh, do you have any friends that you could introduce me to that I can manage their money?" So that's probably what like Maxim did.
Right.
He was like talk like that's probably what Celeste did. Celeste was probably like, "Oh, Maxim, do you know anybody who can?" He was like, "Oh, my friend Yasmin. She actually works at the bank. She'd be great for you to know. But like, what's really great, her father, he's like really wealthy. You should become her friend, help her get a job. But like her dad is will definitely be a good client." And
It
like he probably
been
like
and
that's
was.
probably exactly what how Maxim like sold like you know.
It's so. Hi, Bradford. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Wonderful. Welcome, welcome, welcome to what we watched. Did you watch the finale?
I have the finale on mute right now while I'm listening to you all talk. So
I
I'm
adore
not
that.
I'm not like ducking and dodging spoilers, but y'all pretty much hit a bunch of the points I was expecting to be hit. Um I have no the season tried really hard to make me have sympathy for Yasmin.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And I feel like I don't know because y'all remember at one point I think she told Celeste, like, I just want to be respected like Harper is respected. And
Yep.
so it feels like all of this was sort of building up to just like, yeah, you still aren't.
And
So
here's the thing. Not only are you, well, here's the thing. You want to be like Harper? Harper ain't got no job, and Harper has to work for money. Here you go. You respected like Harper. Here you go. Careful what you wish for, sweetie. Poor Harper,
Oh
y'all.
my no, like that like really fucked me up.
Mm mm. Mm mm.
I mean, Harper's so conflicting because I feel like she makes like some of the most rash decisions, but like that
She
power that she has that she knows that these older people will still trust her rash decisions.
But the thing
But it's the way that Eric gave her the Celeste treatment and said, I'm too old for this Crusader shit. Girl, you do not need to be here during the fall." He was truly looking out for her because the fall of all of this shit is gonna be crazy. Gus gonna fall too, mark my words. And
oh yeah.
it's not gonna be.
Oh yeah. Okay,
And
so you know
Eric
what this
said, let's just discredit everything that you've done because that is the only way to save your ass right now. People won't even talk about you in this situation, even though you're the one that kind of caused it, because as soon as this comes out, they're going to be like, oh, the girl that didn't even finish college, you might want to not even mention her in this fucking case when that shit blows the fuck up. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, like the insert trade definitely gonna blow up. But okay, I don't know if you like noticed this in this like episode, but there were a lot of instances where people were lambs brought to slaughter. Like Gus's like cousin or sister Aurora, like she literally told him this shit, hoping that he would snitch to somebody.
Yep.
And like when it happened, she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy it happened. I'm not about to get this, and you're fired because when this comes out,
We'll
like
just label it as an admin mistake.
we'll just label it." So she knows it's gonna come out, like which that's setting up season three. She knows it's gonna come out. However, like like Jesse was going, but she was like, but while you're at it, since it's an admin mistake, like no one's gonna really know about it and know it was you, and I'm like covering for your ass, and I'm gonna be able to protect myself. Get a job at Bloom while you're at it, and get some money because he owes you anyway. Because you got his little fuck ass son into college, right? And it like sucks because Gus was having this like really moral moment, like when he was like talking to
Yes.
that guy. Like I thought, like damn, like Gus like left like the toxicity of Pure Point. He's like going to be like this like good person, and then like Jesse Bloom's like, yeah, you want to be in these meetings, the meetings you were born to be in anyway in the first place. And like Gus is looking so satisfied flying up. Gus, okay. HBO, like
Now you know
earlier,
I
I
love it.
did you watch House of Dragons yet?
Girl, I'm already caught up. Yes, man. And
Okay.
you know I love an Icarus reference now. The show
Yes.
an HBO show is going if it don't, an HBO show don't do nothing else, they're gonna make Icarus reference, okay?
Yeah. So Gus was on his Renera, okay? When Sir Kristen was like, we could be broke together and get bushels of orange. And Renera said, oh, no, sweetie, I'm wealthy. I was born into wealth. I'm going
Into
to
this
die.
crown. I'm gonna
I'm going
die
to
with this crown.
die with this crown. I'm going to die wealthy. You
Here's
can
the
fuck me.
thing.
Gus said, I'm going to die wealthy. Let's fucking go.
Gus, I told you, Gus. I said in the Gus is gonna be back on his bullshit. Ain't no fucking way. Gus is gonna be back on his bullshit. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all go back and listen to the last few spaces where me and Renee just cutting it up back and forth. We be spitting. We called a lot of this. Now, as I said in the last space too, every time, like even knowing what's going to happen in the show or having an inkling, it is still absolutely phenomenal the way that they shoot it and perform it. I am floored. Definitely didn't see the undergrad degree coming. I just didn't see that coming. I thought for sure Eric had her back. But honestly, can we talk about my guy Eric? Because he's been going through a lot. He's been going through a lot. I think that decision was extremely tough for him, and he just wanted to feel like a dad for a little bit. And to the sacrificial lamb kind of idea, I think it was the sacrificial lamb, but not in a way like to save himself or to like feel better about himself. It was just to protect her. Like, girl, you do not want to, I cannot have you here. We have bigger plans for you. You need to go get your degree, plea, or something to get back into this game because you do not want to be here when the Jesse Bloom shit blow up. Okay. You just do not want to be here. And the way that Gus is sitting at the table with Jesse and his son, was anybody else not perturbed? I said, not Gus. I said, oh Lord, Gus. Please, Gus, why are you here? Gus is down. Gus is down bad. But how much money do y'all think Gus got from Bloom?
Honestly, like Bloom's like really like he was already baseline wealthy, and then from the short that he like organized, like who knows, like he probably could have just gone like a cool 250, like a cool two, you know what I mean? Like just like like rich people are like notoriously stingy with like tutors. However, Gus got his son into college. He got his son into college. He helped Gus repair. Gus also helped him repair his relationship with his father. Gus
Exactly.
is the reason why, like his father, like oh boy, even told his dad he didn't get into college. And then Gus like also inadvertently helped Bloom with the short, and Bloom knows it. So the thing about Bloom is like he'll throw money away to be for great gratitude.
I mean,
Like
that's
that's what,
what you do when you're one of the biggest hedge fund managers in the world, hedge
and
fund
not
managers
only
in the world.
yeah, and not only
And
one of the biggest. When you have power, the way that Nicole casually said, "Oh, y'all are done with me." How much will it take for y'all to be not done with me? I'm buying this much. Y'all not
look at
done
my
with me.
tweet up top. The way that this show says money talk, sweetie, and everybody else is quiet otherwise. I
Okay.
said,
Right.
oh my goodness, because, and Bradford, I hear you. Go ahead. I just wanted to say real quick, I'm not speaking about Gus being in there because Jesse and the son absolutely invited there. There's not a lot of problems or things that make you mad or that you hold on to when the money good, when the money up. Bloom don't care about nothing. He's like, come on, yeah, you fucked my son when I asked you for a favor. Sure, come on in. I paid you money for it. No, come on in. That didn't matter. He was pissed off 2 episodes ago when his when there's about to burn a hole in his pocket, in his words. But now he's like, Gus, come on. I feel like though Gus is in a sense of like, what's the word? I'm sure there's a word. Euphoria, but also kind of this insanely like reeling apprehension. I feel like that's where Gus is right now,
So he's
where he's just
skydiving.
where he's just like, okay, I lost my job, but I think that like this girl got me. Okay, Bloom just did insider trading. It was definitely because I chatted, but I was like also kind of coerced into chatting. Like I
And
know
he was
Gus is like
also,
it's
and I think he also felt like everything was just like hopeless because like he was like trying to do like the right thing. He felt like his and then he
yes.
and then, like I think like, and that's what I'm saying. His like family member used him because like she knows how he is,
Yep.
and she was just like, oh my god, like if he feels like nothing is going to happen and he doesn't get to have like a role, like responsibilities, like if like she knew that he would just like vent because like he was just like feeling disenfranchised and like disillusioned and just jaded, like because he wasn't like when he felt like there was actually something important happening, he was not telling Harper. But then when he was told the truth that nothing was going to happen, he had no fucking problem telling Harper because he was like, fuck these people too. Damn.
Well, he did have a problem. He was hesitant, but he definitely was just kind of annoyed. He was in a stupor, really. Like he's been in a stupor. Go ahead, Bradford.
You say what?
You had unmuted a couple of times while we were talking. Did you want to speak?
I'm listening. I'm listening and watching. I'm
Oh,
gonna jump.
okay.
I'm gonna jump in like I guess at the appropriate.
Okay. Okay, so I think let's go to the very beginning of this episode. Does anyone even remember? I was like,
How?
okay.
What was the cold? It was like a cold. Oh my god! It was a cold
So they
opening.
were Yeah, so they were it was DVD, Rishi, Harper, and Eric. And
Yes.
they were gonna try one last time, but Harper still had not hooked Bloom completely, even though everybody believes that she had Bloom's ear. And it was just so parallel to last episode cold open. I don't know if it was a cold. Yeah, I think it was a cold open, or maybe it was the end of the last episode. I can't remember, but it was exactly like them. It was just Rishi and DVD, or it was just DVD added to the mix, and it was like them at that what's that company, MHFS or whatever, um, trying to go Japanese, like Eric was saying, and I just remember watching that, like, oh shit, these motherfuckers are like at their last leg. Like, everyone in this finale was like reaching the finale of like whatever season they were in their lives. And that's some damn good writing. Like, all of them were desperate, including Eric, who is notoriously never desperate. Okay. But he's been desperate for a lot of this season. And he was at his last leg. When he told Harper, he looked at Harper, he was like, I have no more moves. You make the call. I have no more moves. Eric has never been out of moves. Okay. He's been in the game way too long. Eric said, I have no more moves. I don't know which child you figured out, little third year with no degree. I can't believe he did that to Harper. Mm-mm. What do you think about Eric, Renee?
I still can't believe he did it to Harper. I really still can't. I think what like sucks is like when I think about it, like even if we didn't see it happening at the episode before she entered the room, we should have known it was going to happen because he was so nice to her. And then when he like it told her like actually I'm the one who covered for you, and I was like, yo, like they're being so kind to each other, like. And like I think what sucks so much about this happening, I feel like their relationship was actually having an honest start because Harper is somebody who plays her cards very close to her or just lies about her cards, right? And what was so interesting about this episode, like she was just telling the truth. And then when she finally tell the truth to
This is
people,
what happens.
I said, I see
I'm
why Harper
telling
was
you,
lying. She
a lot of
finally, she was telling the truth.
I, that's what I was saying earlier. This episode really shows you like ultimately, what happens when you try to be good, Yasmin? What happens when you try to be quote unquote good,
And under
Harper?
the status quo, your
Under
parent,
the
your family will kill you.
yes, your own it be your own people every time.
The only person who's up in this episode is the person who did bad, which is Gus.
Which is Gus, and Gus is smiling, sweetie. But actually, I think
Content,
Gus is like, well,
pleasant.
Gus is like, well, honestly, I was tricked into this, and then I was forced into saying it. So I'm rich, the richest, one of the richest men in this industry likes me. I fucked his son. I'm pretty okay. And the way that they build it, because I don't know if you remember in the first couple of episodes, a lot of people were asking, hey, where is the Gus thing going? And I'm like, oh, this is going to be big. And you said it too, Renee. You were like, oh no, y'all. Gus is about to have something with Harper. Like, you called it. Like, Gus is about to do
Insider
something. And I
trade.
was,
I called it insider trading.
yes. And I was like, oh my God.
This situation was literally set up for. So that's the thing.
That's who Jesse Bloom was modeled after. So yes, but I mean just the way they did it. Oh, there were so many layers. Oh, I was oh my
No,
God.
so I've like talked. I think I've like talked about it. Like I'm realizing, insider trading is like really actually like really easy to do because people just have loose fucking lips and they'll just be talking to their casual like they'll be casually talking to their like fellow wealthy friends about some shit going on in their job and then their friends say, "Oh, let me go buy this." That's literally how insider trading like all like honestly like truly whom amongst us have like not called our friends to bitch about the shit going on our jobs.
And this is why Harper that's exact thought is why Harper was like, I mean, it's not of importance to you, but it's gold to me. Like, just talk to me. Oh, okay. Well, by the way, whomst among us has never asked a question and just set somebody up? Because that's what Harper did. I was like, all right, Harper, I relate. Sometimes you can just ask the question, and regardless of the answer, you have your answer.
Right.
You know what I mean? She was like, okay, you're quiet. That means yes. And child, it didn't Gus didn't even really have to say too much. She knew that he had some information, and she knew that she was going to get it out of him, whether it was like, you
Directly.
know, yeah, like she knew that Gus was going to break, but not break in a way to be like I feel like Harper also knew that Gus wasn't going to be like a little chit chatty snitch or anything, or jeopardize his position. But when she heard that he was let go, she was like, oh no, something happened. I'm about to get this information right now. So not only do whomst among us, chatting about work, because that's not really what Gus came to do. He wanted to go to bed or he wanted to go to sleep. But whomst among us has not had a friend ask us some questions because they know or they can tell that we're going through it and get us some information out that we're not ready to talk about yet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Everybody was a part of that bullshit. And that's actually, I love that it was like very circular writing, which is so good. Like everyone had a hand in this. Like, y'all feel like when y'all were watching it that like every moment there was like at one point I was like someone needs to say, hey, stop talking, don't tell me this. Like, remember when Gus said that on the phone, I'm gonna do you a favor and hang up. Like, there's some point where you have to walk out of the room. Like, I do not want to hear this for fear of even being adjacent to the incrimination here. I don't even want to be like adjacent to this bullshit. Stop talking, don't confess to me, I'm not your therapist. Like, I feel like
Dog.
at one point somebody like that, if I was in this show, I'd be like, Harper, I'm gonna walk out. I don't want to hear this. I can tell you're going through a lot. I don't want to hear it. Because as soon as you have information, everybody gonna get called to the stage. The same way that the Nicole Craig shit popped off with her fucking predatory ass. Everybody gonna get called to the stage, whether you 2, 3, 4 degrees removed. Jesse
Yo,
Bloom going down, they gonna get everybody.
Yeah.
so first of all, when Rob said you're a predator, I said thank you. Thank you for using the word.
Finally.
Finally. I remember tweeting, I was like, yo, Nicole is a predator.
Didn't I say that? I was like, y'all, we need to go ahead and take Nicole down. But you know what? This show reminded us that they don't want none of us crusaders.
Okay.
They
Nicole
said
said
y'all
money
can try to.
talks.
Nicole said money. She's like, go ahead and run me that half a Billy, motherfucker. I said, these are how the things continue.
And then,
This
like,
is
the worst
how.
part, DVD's bitch ass. He was like, "We shouldn't trade with her, but it is a lot of money. Your
Right.
call, your
DVD is
call.
such a
You not no
delicate.
manager. You
He's
not no
so flim.
manager. You weak
DVD is so
nigga.
flimsy, bro. DVD is so
A
flimsy.
weak
What
nigga.
a flimsy,
That's
flimsy
why
man.
he had a weak nigga. That's why he had to get out the way he had to get out. He did
That's
a
exactly
weak
why.
nigga.
This the parallel, sweetie, when he listened to the phone call of Harper and didn't interfere, and then he listened to this phone call with Nicole, Craig, and Rob and didn't interfere. DVD, you're flimsy. You're DVD, you're not who you say you are at all. The worst type of man. Get out of my face.
Okay,
DVD.
so because y'all brought up Robert, and so because I've been thinking about this for like a week. Do
Mm-hmm.
y'all think when he left Nicole and old girl at dinner and then went back, did he go back because he suspected something might happen, or did he go back because he
Yes.
thought he was missing out on the opportunity? Because I've thought about that.
Oh no, no. I definitely think it's the former because of the worry in his face and the way that if it was out of like missing out, like you mean like missing out, like he wanted to be with Nicole.
Well, no, not necessarily because even then, because that whole interaction was just like wow. Like you have him and Nicole sort of exchanging bars. You
Uh,
in turn kind of one upping Robert because she's kind of blackmailing him.
what I understood from that was that he felt guilty
Right.
because he knows that he's been going through a lot of emotions regarding that and that he just left in a heated, feeling threatened ass, hot headed, you know, way. And then he left that newer girl there to deal with what is quite literally a predator. Thank you, Rob, for saying it on this show.
Right.
And that's why he called to check on her first. Like, hey, just let me know you're okay. Because if it's easy to like track predator behavior because normal things like that would end normally, right? If if nothing's gonna happen to you, then me calling you to check on you, you would just be like, hey, yeah, I'm great, And he knew and like he could find out his answer. And as soon as that kind of, that didn't go as well, he was like, ah, damn it, like
Because
Nicole done stuck his claws into this poor girl, and he kind of felt guilty. I feel like, and that's why he kind of tried to.
Yeah, I think he was like tired of being abused by her. Like that's what's like really sad about like Rob, right? Cuz like he has like such low sense of like self and like low self-worth that he and like you know how like Yasmin was like I shouldn't have been nasty to you. He was like, "Well, I want it to be used." He's like internalized being like a victim, I feel like.
Now
And
hold on now, because Bill Withers had a fire song about this, and that's
now
one of my
use me
favorite
is a
songs.
you,
that
Now
is
yeah,
one of
use
my
me now.
with that
All
being
right,
said, Bill Weathers might have been
Rob
down
said now.
bad,
Bill
okay?
Withers.
He might have been down bad, okay?
I don't care
So,
what y'all say, because if it feels this good being used,
I'll take it back to the wire. Okay.
like,
that's what I'm.
no,
But
like, I
here's the
really,
thing. But like what you were saying though, like what we were saying though earlier, when you do good, like this is where you end up. Do y'all realize that Rob like actually did good? Because me personally, I'm gonna couldn't be me to Rob. Couldn't be me. As soon as Yasmin is down, I'm on her ass. Oh, you need me now. Oh, you need me to get you some cocaine. Oh, you need a place to stay. Oh, looks like the shift of power is significant today. Like, I'm just an asshole. I would have handled it like that. But he was kind to her, and he went to get her broke ass some drugs. And look where that ended up.
no
He
good
might
deed
not be
goes
a pure point
unpunished.
either. No good deed. That's what I'm talking. I think that was like a huge, like,
Oh, yeah,
y'all
when the person
motherfuckers
was like, oh, you finna
do
lose your
good.
job. He not finna lose his job, though, if Nicole is his
Say,
client.
if Nicole is his client. Yes, because money talks and the
Money,
rest is quiet.
okay, but listen,
Okay, bars. I
okay,
bars you
so
up.
their
Career.
dialogue, their dialogue when Rob was like, he was like, I know you intimately. Oh, you don't know me. Oh no, I do. And your bedroom is the loneliest place in the world. It's the loneliest place that I've been in. And then she goes,
And
and
what
you
did she
fell
say?
right you
And
said
you was
and you fell right
right
at
at
home.
home.
I said,
Here's the thing.
ah.
Here's the thing. Again, couldn't be me, Rob. I would have punched her ass right there.
And
You
then she
lost your
parked
damn mind talking.
and listen, you see how just like because remember Nicole's like called herself mummy to fucking Rob before. You see how Nicole parked the car and opened the door. You can leave if that's what the fuck you want. If that's what the fuck you want. The way that Yasmin's daddy said, "Oh, you don't like the shit that I do. I run you, bitch. You can leave. You can leave if you want, right?" And Rob said, Rob's been broke before, okay? So Rob said, I'm gonna stay right here.
Do you notice the
Mm,
parallel too with like Rob? She was like,
he
"So
said my
you
name.
want me?"
My poor
Rob
dog.
and Yasmin was both put in a position to be like, "Oh, so y'all big and bad? How y'all little crusaders?" I'm gonna start calling millennials crusaders. By the way, thank you, industry HBO. Not y'all calling us crusaders because we trying to make sure people get treated well. The way that both Rob and Yasmin stood up to their mommy slash daddies, and the way Rob was like, "Oh no, 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 I'm gonna stay right here," and Yasmin was like, "Yeah, I'm done." Like they both had to be
But
like, "All
that's
right,
because
be
Yasmin's never, ever, ever
ever had
like,
to." Yep,
yeah.
yep.
So I think like Celeste, as ruthless and callous and cold and calculated as she is,
I stand.
at the very end, at like not even the very end, like we finally understood her perspective, which is, I came from nothing. I will not be without nothing. If you look far enough, everybody has done something morally bankrupt.
Right.
I'm like,
the
she said, I'm
the
Stevie
way
Wonder to the bullshit, because are they paying me or not?
the way that this is just like a Succession episode. Her
Man.
saying that was like every Succession episode ever. The children are always bickering. Logan Roy's kids are always like, "Okay, come on, we look fast enough. You did this back far enough. You did this bullshit. Okay, well, you did this bullshit." And I think it was just it was so well like performed and well acted in that moment, and it was good for Yasmin to see that because Yasmin is the only one that really understands the power of wealth, but somehow simultaneously like doesn't. And so it's very important for Celeste to be like, "Sweetie, wealth is you. And without it, you are just like the other girls. So, Miss Mamas, congrats on standing up to your father. But without money, you are a regular girl." And I'm going to say it because I know we're all thinking it. I'm going to say it. Yasmin looked like a regular girl for the first time in a very long time. Actually, the entire fucking, 2 seasons when she was in that hoodie. I was like, "Oh, Yasmin, a regular looking girl. She regular as hell." Because, and I know they did that on purpose, because she had been wearing that hoodie for 30 hours, like she told Harper. And really, you're just like the rest of us if you don't have money. And she's not obviously, I can already see this
Mhm.
character arc. That Yasmin character arc is gonna be fire next few seasons. Give us 5 more seasons. But I think it was very important to like see Yasmin in a different, like struggling light, so that we're reminded that like it's the money that talks in the industry. It's not that you're pretty, it's not that you're young, it's not that you're smart. This is all about money, and then drugs, of course. But hi, Lizzie, welcome. Lizzie messaged me, she was like, "I need to vent, tell me when the space is immediately." I was like, "Girl, we're here now. Please vent."
Let me gather my thoughts. Continue, continue.
We're
Welcome.
gonna have another gathering of the thought. This is why What We Watch always does spaces a few days later after some episodes come out. A lot of people like the first reactions. I do too. I think the space has been great. But like to get everybody to get their bars off like they love to do, Lizzie, I totally understand. I got y'all on Wednesday as well. But I got some bars right off the bat, to be honest with you, because I was like breathing hard. I checked my little whoop Shout out Whoop Hive. I
Yes.
took my little whoop, and my heart rate was up at that 28-minute mark. I was like, oh my God, what are they about to do? And I don't know how I didn't see the diploma thing coming, or the lack there. I didn't see it coming.
How
Because
come?
the way, and they did it so well. The way that Eric wouldn't even look, would barely look her in the eyes. Eric always looks Harper in the eyes when he's talking to her. Matter of fact, she kind of like moving her eyes around. Eric didn't look at her eyes on that elevator. He was like, I'm doing this for you. And when she thought it was about Bloom, and he was like, Harper, shut the fuck up. Respectfully, shut up. Because you're doing a lot right now. Shut the hell up. Just shut up. Because this is not what you think it is at all. It's worse. You don't even get to work
Mm.
here for sure anymore. Because she's been on the brink of not working at Pierpoint for what, like 3, 4 episodes now? Like,
Yeah.
it has been, she has been hanging at Pierpoint by the thread, and by a thread. And Eric said, don't worry. I was always a thread. Matter of fact, I think I tweeted that. I think I tweeted like after the last scene, I'm like, nah, Eric is the only reason that Harper's at Pierpoint. And I think Harper forgot that. I think Harper forgot that. And the way that they raised the stakes for that too, with Harper being like, in New York, I'm dead. Like, I came here on I have a UK visa. Like, if I don't have a job, I'm going back to where I'm dead.
Where like, and I so God, it was insane. Yes, like Harper said, I'm dead, and Eric was like, I'm alive in New York, and so then I'm alive in New York.
That we should have
And-
known right then that Eric was gonna be like, well, that's on you, sweetie.
right, but then like when Harper says, I'm still alive, and Eric is like, I think I'm dead. Oh my God.
You see it?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh
Mm-mm.
my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
You see it? Mm-mm.
And like it was like insane because like for Harper, it was like it wasn't about just having a job. It was like she did not want to go back to her home because she's from New York. She
Yeah,
literally left to flee her mom
Yeah.
yeah.
and
It's not.
everything
It's not even like
surrounding
she
it.
doesn't want to go home. I think this episode really drove the fact that it's not even a want. Like, she doesn't believe that she can. Like, even the potential of having, because she was going to go to New York with a job. She was going to go to New York doing exactly what she's so obsessed with doing in the UK. So she would have been fine. She would have been more than fine. But like, it's not just about not wanting to go to New York. She was like, I cannot survive in New York. I will die in New York. Like, I came here so I could be alive. She said that. She's like, so I came here so I could live. Like, not just live, like, oh, like make money. Like, literally, so my physical and mental health could like actually, be sustained. It's wild. I think I appreciated that because we never use the term dead in like a sense of location of where we are. We kind of use it in like, oh my God, I'm dead, like with sadness, or like with laughter, or even with like parts of us that die in like relationships. But I do think that, like, especially me, like moving from LA to Dallas, I feel like there are some times where people need to recognize that like where I am is a lot of the reason why I'm alive. Like, like Renee, you're like, I love New York.
Hmm.
I'm like, child, I can't do it. I'm alive in LA. And so I really like that dramatic kind of use of death. Like, New York would be the death of her. But you know what? Honestly, Harper, part of you needs to die because you fucking everybody. You being rude. You being mean. Um, you think you above everything, which quite honestly, she's made a lot of great calls, right? To
Excellent.
quote Renee, she is not, well, Renee, I don't know, baby. I think she is a fuck up. We're gonna have to go. But you was on a roll at one point
No,
being
no.
like,
This is
she's
the
not
this
a
is the
fuck up.
this is
She's
the
not a
thing.
fuck up. She
She
fucks
still
up.
she still isn't a fuck up because if she is a fuck up, then we all are fuck ups because what does Zendaya say and Rue say? If you
Reduce them to their
repeat,
worst things.
we're cops. I'm not
You
no
are a
cop.
cop.
Fuck the police. All cops are bad. Fuck Eric
Here's the
Adams.
thing. What good things? Well, you know what? There was one good thing. She gave water to Yasmin when Yasmin needed it. She did do that.
She did. No, like
And, like,
Harper will not let you like physically die.
What
She
did you
might
say?
Harper will not let you physically die. Like that's what I noticed about Harper.
Yeah,
Like
we talked about that. I can't. What were you gonna say, Bradford?
No, but like in terms of this idea of her being dead, like she has over the course of what's it, 3 years? Over the course of 3 years, like she has a whole identity there now. Like this is her. There's nothing really for her to like go home to. You know, we talk about this idea of Harper being a fuck up. She has to admit to being that back in New York. You know what I'm saying? In London,
Mm,
there are plenty of distractions. There are
mm.
ways for her to
She's
cover up her.
rebuilding her whole life.
Here's the thing. I think it's very the what's clear about Harper is what and or who she cares about. And number one, that's her and her brother. And I think it was very important for us to get those little family issue episodes to see where Harper's, kind of demons lie, I guess, if you will, or her weaknesses lies, or her sensitivities, or her insecurities, just like every other motherfucking character, just because we didn't see them. Harper's one of those representatives of like the people in a bunch of power that are very talented and smart. Like, you have no idea what I went through to get here, and you have no idea the type of hold in me every single day. That doesn't justify Harper now. But I'm just saying, like, I think it was very important for us to see, like, that Harper is not a psychopath. She does care about things, but it damn sure she don't care about Rishi. She damn sure don't care about uh, fucking Yasmin. She damn sure don't care about DVD. It's very clear what she doesn't care about. But I think it is very clear what Harper does care about, and it's herself, her brother, and uh, maybe a little bit of Eric. I don't know why my voice just cracked there. Maybe a little bit of Eric. She cared about Eric just a teeny tiny bit because she knew, Eric has done a lot for her. And then I guess the
Eric
last
gave
person
her a chance, and then he said, "Oh
ripped
my
it from
god,
her.
I shouldn't have given you that chance, ho. You insider trading, nah."
Not her.
He said, "What the fuck?"
No, it's the way that Harper finally shook Eric enough to his core. He said, "Okay, no, it's gone way too far. Like, I've enabled this sweet girl way too much." Because think about how many other times Eric or Harper has made a crazy, insane ass decision, and Eric kind of like, raised his eyebrows a little bit and was like, "Harper, what the fuck is wrong with you?" But all right,
Mhm.
let's fucking do it.
Yeah,
This time he was like, "No, that's insider trading.
like
Now
no,
you fucking the money up."
and no, and I think it's. I feel like okay, I'll just say it. If anybody's offended, it is what it is. I feel like if you have a simple mind, you might think that Eric did this to Harper because she screwed him over in the beginning. But like that's like if you have like a simple mind and you don't like have deep intimate relationships and you just don't like under like that Eric could have charged that to the game. Like what she did, like the game was the game. Like people just screw each other over like that all the time. I actually feel like he decided to let the bomb drop over diploma when he saw how much and like DVD kind of like hinted at this when he saw how much of a mini him she had like become because remember when he was down bad that's when he
Exactly.
starts cheating on his wife. He wasn't cheating on his wife before. His kids don't
Before,
even know him. They don't even fuck with him like that. Now he cheating on his wife with this woman who just lost her husband to which was his boss that called him a chink. So it was like, what, Eric? You fucking a woman who was trying to turn a blind eye to the fact that her husband was a fucking racist and he was racist. I had no idea. Yes, you did, bitch. You know that's him. Let's stop fucking lying. And he gonna fuck her while his wife, like, because he's sad that he not able on the floor, and then he see how Harper's like kill DVD and kill Rishi, kill him, and started trade. Let's fucking go. He was just like, yo, what the fuck am I raising?
Well,
here's go ahead, Bradford.
I will say, and I think that's the other, and I may have missed that part. That's the other sort of narrative that's sort of paramount over the course of this season is Eric sort of having to weigh whether or not, quote unquote, he's a relic in this growing industry. You have all these younger people now who are making plays, and to a degree, Harper is making the kinds of plays I imagine Eric would have made when he was her age,
Right. The
having to make
Crusaders, if
transition
you
and
will.
whatnot. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he goes home and he tells his wife, don't relegate me to this. Don't tell me I've lost my edge. And
Yeah.
so much of this is about watching these younger people, DVD included, one of the folks he mentored,
Correct.
being like, okay, are these people, what are their motives? I need to know I still got it. So
But
that's very interesting.
and I
Yeah.
and I hang on Celeste's words in that. when she was like, "Sweetie, y'all can try to change from within and get left behind, or you can get in
It
and
was the
figure out how to
system.
fucking do the work and be go with the system." But Renee, I honestly don't think that you even had an audience for the simple mindedness. I don't think anybody in here is simple minded. I think that I think that everyone kind of definitely agreed with the fact that the way that Eric has been moving, because we talked about this in our first few spaces, like the way that Eric is an elite villain. We talked about our Harper, but Eric is an elite villain in that, and he was a well written, not a villain, but he's a well written character in that he is a very calculated human being, and he is going through a change in this season. He really is, and it was so evident from the first episode to this last episode that Eric is was the big bad guy in season 1 to this like protagonist that we were all a part of, and then you see that kind of relationship change, and then in this season it was like, okay, this is like her only fucking ally, quite frankly. Like, this nigga had her on the ropes in the first season, but like this season, Eric is kind of Harper's only guy. Like,
Right.
nobody else really has her back. And so I think it's very important to see that, like, I think a lot of people see that Eric, handled the situation in the way that laterally described it. And I think that Harper's how do I say this? Harper's part in this is specifically that she does not recognize her, she does not recognize her power caps out at. And I think that's where we get this whole Bradford, like you're saying, like the relic of like, as a relic, I understand like all this that has been done. I've kind of been there in this position. I've seen it happen. I've watched people go up. I've watched clients fail. I've watched it all. But Harper, because you are so young, you believe that you are a little bit invincible. And I need to remind you that you are not. And not just remind you, like you said, like in this like simple way, but to remind you that like, okay, because I really think obviously this is a TV show, guys. So like I think Harper's absolutely gonna come back. We always know
Oh
Harper takes on the
yes.
goddamn poster. She gonna come right on the fuck back up. But it's going to be she, a lot of it, whomst among us, guys. Whomst among us has not had to like hit the ground a little bit to really kind of recognize what the fuck is going on and to go back after our same dreams, because Harper is not going to be easily pushed off this horse. But I'm going to go about it in a little bit less of a chaotic way. Whomst among us,
No,
Well,
she really was Icarus.
yeah, she really was. There was many, right. Sierra, go ahead.
Yeah, I also can you guys hear me?
Of course.
Yeah, I also
Welcome to What We Watch.
well, first of all, this was a very well written season. But I just want to say, like, for Harper, um, I do feel that Eric had to get her out of there. Um, and
Yes.
I think it was more of him like at when I first watched it, I was like, that's some fuck shit to be completely frank. Like why would he did that? Like he definitely gave that person the information of her transcript, like because they wouldn't have not pulled out their ass. Like they wouldn't have done that because she's been in the farm for 3 years. But I feel like he had to do that to her because like inside she has had like tremendous fuck ups to a certain degree in the past 2 years. Or 3 years, if you want to count the COVID part that we didn't get to see as a viewer. And over
Right.
those 5 different points of her messing up and falling off, did not tell Eric about her doing that thing of 40K. Daria, that whole sexual assault with Daria. The third thing when it comes to with Bloom and losing his money. The fourth thing of fucking over Rishi again with Bloom. So she just had 5 big incidents. But for Eric to do that, I feel like her going to New York next season is we really going to see a transformation. Hopefully in season 3 that I'm really excited for. But I wanted to ask you guys, like, what did you guys think of Yasmin? I hope I didn't miss that conversation um, about her this season. But she really irritated the hell out of me. Um, her and Rob gets me. I hate Rob, bro. But Yasmin is so complex. But when her dad got her butt about her privilege, that was well needed. So I just want to ask you guys what y'all thought about
You
that.
know how down bad you have to be for quite honestly, a pedophile to check you on your
Hello.
privilege. I know Yasmin lost. I know Yasmin was heated. She had to have been. Not you fucking talking down on me, but the fact is he was spitting, which is sad.
He literally was
That's fucking
screaming in the
sad.
restaurant.
Dog. So I pulled up because when he said the Coots card, I said, "What's that?"
Right.
Because I'm not rich, and I tagged it in the beginning. What are the requirements for a Coots card? To be considered, you must already be a client of Coots, and the bank has strict entry requirements. It's rumored that you need to be ready to deposit at least £1 million to open an account. Unlike most exclusive cards, the Coots Silk card doesn't charge a fee. And then somebody was like, "Is the Coots a good bank?" Chief Executive Peter Flavel, this was in 2017, who joined the bank last year, says Coots is the bank of the most successful and influential people in Britain. It's the best client base anywhere. So
That's where Yasmin come from.
It's the research for me. First off,
Period.
I
that's,
I know you. That's right.
Check the spaces at the top. The tweet is right there.
I had to look it up because I was like, because they be making so many references. I said, like when she was like, let's have a sit or let's have a think by the sofa or whatever the fuck she's a sit sweet
Let
or
me tell you,
I said,
the way I knew the Latin girls were reeling over the use of sine qua non, I haven't heard that in years. I said, go ahead, industry. Industry will teach you something. If y'all not researching, I don't know what y'all do. Industry will teach you something. And shout out to the girls that read with captions because y'all would have known how to spell no coots card if it wasn't for the Renee. Did you have your captions on?
I always have my captions on.
Period.
I can't hear without the
Period.
captions.
Period. Okay. Shout out to the captions girls. Imagine watching industry without captions. The way y'all will catch these metaphors, these colloquialisms, these investment banking little um
No,
what do
this
you
bank
call
was
them? Like
formed. Coots
this
was
little
formed in
investment
1692. Like it's like the eighth oldest bank in the world. So like that's what I'm saying. Yasmin is coming from old
old,
money. Oh,
old, old money.
old money. That's
And
why
she
when
But
she
ain't got
that's
said,
why. But that's why I thought it was so crazy. Like just to see like the beginning of the season where her and Harper were both getting into it, that conversation where she literally told Harper what it would be like without money,
now
and
she know.
Harper was
That's what
like,
your ass get,
exactly
Yasmin.
like, and Harper was
That's
like, I
what
know
your ass get.
exactly how I'll be without money.
That's
And
what
now
your ass
seeing at
get.
the end of the season, like that's so much foreshadowing, that I just didn't peep at the end because I was like, girl, like,
When I tell you I peeped it so fast, because here's the thing. You know what I knew? As soon as her dad said, and you've been depositing all your checks into my account, I said, oh shit. Yasmin ain't
yeah,
finna
and it's
have
so
no money.
careless.
financial abuse. She called out
She
an abuser. He said,
she
I'm
called
finna abuse
he
your
said, I'm
ass.
finna take it all. And guess who make more money than Yasmin now? Harper. I said, Lord Jesus
Harper
is a
is
fire.
unemployed, but at the same time, though, it's like with
Venetia make more
Yasmin,
money.
yeah, Venetia makes more. Hello, I. But
Bring
like, let's talk
talk
about the
about it.
difference between Venetia and Yasmin. That was one of my favorite dichotomies they talked about on the show of seeing Venetia really trying to come in there and not assimilate to a certain degree,
Sierra,
and I thought that was nuts.
absolutely, because and I know you haven't been in all the spaces. Welcome. We have a couple more if you want to go ahead and look up the hashtag industry HBO on
I
what we
sure
watch
am.
spaces. We absolutely address this because that relationship and like you said that with Venetia and the way that Yasmin treated her, Renee knows I could not believe it. My wonderful, beautiful, soft-hearted self could not believe it. I was like, Yasmin, why are you treating Venetia like this? You evil, evil cunt. How dare you? I couldn't believe it.
Honestly, it was really Rob too. It's like even Rob, like at the whole dinner, um,
Okay, so you really
I
got a problem with Rob. We need to dissect this.
No, like Rob.
Rob pisses me off. But I also feel like Rob, to be completely frank, I felt like maybe I missed a lot with Rob, but I feel like his story was not fleshed out enough for him to still be abused by that. Like I still don't know what the fuck happened with his mother for him to still be abused with that white lady, the rich white lady. So that's why, and
Nah, you.
I don't, I just don't, I'm not really fully getting him, but I
Uh-uh.
see it, but he's not my top.
Here's the thing: we're not gonna adjacent victim blame because you didn't victim blame. We're not even gonna come close to that. He's not still being a like that is a real life like that is real life. When I if you look up at the top of the space, money talks. This man is being financially abused and sexually assaulted, and he is in a tough spot. For me, I think, again, we look for characters to have transformations in every season. And sometimes it's just a delicate, like, vulnerability and breaking open of the characters. And I think the parallel is with his relationship with, not Celeste, Chow. I'm getting all these rich white women confused. His relationship with Nicole Craig, and then his relationship with Yasmin. He kind of struggling in his own way with power and sexuality and what
Yeah.
he, what he likes for himself. So I think that the reason why he's still struggling is because that's real fucking life. Think about how long you can struggle with something when you went to school for 4 years to do exactly what you're doing. You've been pretty successful over the last 3 years in it. You have one of the biggest clients that the bank has. She likes you, but she kind of uses you for sex. Also,
I don't, but
you're
that's why I have to pause at Rob, because it's like when you say pretty successful, I feel like he has skated his whole time to a certain degree up here point, and I feel like he never really put into work, and I feel like he got in position of Nicole. This is his first big client, so
yep,
I understand that's why it's so difficult,
right.
well, very complex, but at the still time, like him getting sober, I know he's starting to figure out himself. So as I was starting to like the character development, but I still am putting him up to.
Right.
Is it still something to where I'm still conflicted? Because why would you tell DVD that you
Right.
fucked Nicole if you and then you caught, like, it was just very. I know it's also emotional, physical abuse as well, and
Yeah,
also
he
his
just
mother issues. He has mommy issues,
oh,
so it's like
he has every issue imaginable.
No, I
And
feel
yeah, and I'm not saying you can't like him. I'm tickled because, like, look, I have my least favorite characters on this show too. But, like, I think the reason why I'm just speaking like this is because I think I have, like, I relate not on the level to the extent of Rob, obviously, 'cause not a white man. He got a ton of privilege and I don't. But, like, whomst among us has not been in dire situations that we believed we could do well in this, and then finally in the moments that we believe that we could do well in, it comes with a bunch of bullshit added to it, and you're like, fuck, this is exactly what I wanted, and now I have it, and it's awful. And, whomst among us has also not been, like, teetering and shit, like, immediately making a good decision, then making a bad one, and then making another good one, and then making a bad one, then making two good ones, and then making three bad ones. Like, just Rob is all over the place. I mean, Rob's ending of this season is getting caught with a little bag of cocaine. Like, that is absolutely sad. But sometimes that's what happens to you in life. How old are these babies? Like
and
23,
also
24?
they're
not
like
his own
24.
cocaine. Yeah, and not his own coke too at that.
Exactly. He was getting
Absolutely.
coke for someone else. So, like, I think he's just going through a lot. I mean, remember, he just lost what was resembled the closest thing to a fatherly figure that he's had, right? Was that the closest thing he had? Did I still
Yes.
understand
Yeah,
that right? Like, he
and
just, like, see, he's a grieving, sexually abused, emotionally abused, financially like, he's okay. Like, let's be clear, guys. These people make a lot of money, but, like, obviously the workspace and the workplace and the hours and the environment is just, like, offsetting all of this. And, he's trying to be sober. You know how your brain responds psychologically when you're trying to stop using drugs? Like, the man is down bad. Like, his brain is going through a lot, which is why he's so, like, everywhere. You know what I mean, Sierra? I'm not trying to get you to like him, but, like,
no, it's like
yeah.
I just want to see. It's like
you
maybe
want you
I
want some
didn't.
transformation for him. You want
Yeah,
him to,
I
like,
feel like I want to see everybody be transformed. Like I really
yeah,
like, for
and get out
example,
the
like
trenches a little
like
bit.
season one, like for example, Rishi. I feel like Rishi, we saw a lot more complexity and understanding of Rishi this season than last season.
Yes, it was so
That's basically
good.
that's basically what I want. Like for example, I really want to see fucking Gus. Like Gus, like I still feel he still never got a full fleshed out version of Gus a little bit. So it's like something of that sort. Like everyone
Oh,
like starting to feel like I know we get the pieces, and I feel like you definitely gave a great clarification on Rob. But I just know I was sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I definitely be fast forwarding to some of them sex scenes with him and that old lady.
Oh,
So that's
rightfully so. Honestly, that's a hard watch because that's a predator. She's literally a predator. And if it was a man on a woman, those scenes would be that much harder to watch because of how society treats it. Nicole is a fucking predator. And that money talking, and she's still in the game. I really just feel like it's less about remove Rob. Why don't we get Nicole the fuck up out of this show, and, like, really make her fall? But this is just so realistic. These motherfuckers take years to fall. They do shit for years until we have enough to finally get them out. Don't care. Don't matter what kind of call you make. No matter how much half a billy you put in this, you are gone, Mr. or Mrs. Predator, you know?
And
So,
also too, like, I hope this comes out the right way. But Nicole is just like, she also reminds me of like Caitlyn Jenner too, her
Yes.
face. And it's like, kind of freaks me out too why they got an actress to look just like her. Which is like, I wonder if she sees this and be like, why is that lady looking just like me? Like, I don't know. And that's what I keep thinking, like, oh my gosh, like, it just freaks me out to see that much resemblance to an actual person. And that's why I'm like, well, dang, like, is she doing this shit up in Hollywood too at the same time? But overall, I don't know. I just Gus. I'm focused on Gus a little bit for season 3. I want to see Harper.
Gus
I
is gonna get to shine. Gus, I'm telling you, Gus is gonna.
Yep.
I'm calling it right now. I'll be calling shit. Gus is gonna be back on his bullshit. They ain't believe me. Gus is about to be back on his bullshit. Y'all just wait. Renee, what were you gonna say? I know you unmuted a couple times.
Yeah,
Thank you, Sierra.
yeah.
Yes.
Actually, like, I feel bad for Rob because I don't know, like, how many of us like know people who have been survivors of abuse or if we
Yes.
have been abused. But like, what Rob
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of people who are being and who are used to being abused, knowing that they shouldn't be abused,
Right.
not knowing how to be better, seeing the errors of their ways, trying to stand up, but still falling back in like these like patterns because it feels safer, because it is just easier to do the devil than than like actually take the chance and believe your life can be better. So like Rob
E-
is 100% like he is actually a very tragic character in my
Exactly.
personal opinion. I feel very sad when I
Thank.
see his scenes
That's ex-
actually. Like
that's exactly what I was saying, Renee. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I
Yeah. I just. Go ahead. Go ahead.
like cuz like that car scene when like he finally cuz like everybody has been tweeting this about Nicole, and
What?
I think that's like something that like the writers like did so well. Like we were all like she's a predator, she's this, she's this, she's this. She was just like even and Rob like he did not shy away from the fact that like maybe some of us are pathetic enough to get your touch, but like you fucking abuse people. What the flying fuck? And Nicole was like, okay, I do. And what about it? You finna get out this car or you finna stay here? Good job. It was like, wow, you actually know this is what you are and you enjoy it and you revel in it and you want people down in the mud. And it's like, fuck, like Rob's like trying to like Rob is actually trying to do the work, but what people don't talk about the work is nonstop and the work takes
Right.
years. It takes years. Like I swear to God, it took me years of therapy and now I'm the happiest I've been.
let
Like,
me let me tell you something. Here's where I level, and I think they're doing a great job of making it man on or woman on man with the woman being the predator. I'm telling you. 30 I think the statistic is that 38% of women have experienced sexual harassment in the workplace. Many of us, myself included. Now, right now, today, if you get sexually harassed or used tomorrow, clap if you will leave your job. Bottom heart and plus sign emoji. You get sexually harassed in any way, verbally or physically or anything. Do you, and I'm not being insensitive, but I'm just like speaking of the show, it shows how power is always at play here. It's always about the power at play. If a client of yours sends you a weird text message, are you reporting it and leaving your job right now, today, or maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in 2 months? And I think that's what Rob is going through. Rob is like legitimately going through things that 38% of women in the workplace go through, where I've dealt with this. This is true. It has probably happened to other people, and I know that, but like, damn, And then I don't have support from my manager, DVD's sitting there like, well, guy, do the right thing, but this is a lot of money. And it's like, well, damn, I don't have support from the guy on the floor that's supposed to have my back,
And
right? Go ahead,
DVD only
Bradford.
cared. Oh, I was gonna put also to Bradford. DVD only cared about it because he heard Harper was also abused too.
Exactly. And he only cared that Harper was abused, and I'm gonna say it because I know what the fuck it is about people like DVD, men like DVD. He only cared because he thought it might bring him and Harper back close together to free him of his guilt that he had for letting her go in a height of in his height of emotions. DVD, feeble DVD.
Can
Go
we
ahead, go
can,
ahead. Sam, is that Sam? Welcome to the stage, Sam. I see you had to say something quick, honey. What do you have to say?
No, because you guys were talking about the whole like sexual harassment thing, and the other thing I thought was like really interesting on the show was just I think especially with Yasmin, like how like she kind of like just took for granted like that she was like harassed or assaulted, and like I
Yep.
feel like there's so many times like that it happens in the workplace where we kind of do shrug it off. Like I have friends all the time, like even as guys, like they don't realize like what's inappropriate versus not. So I mean, I don't know. It's not even just like the power dynamics, but I think it's just also like kind of like also our what's unfortunate is just our comfort level with people being inappropriate or just not even like wanting to say anything. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and I also just, I don't think she took it for granted. I'm sure that's not like exactly what she meant. I don't think she took it for granted. I think Yasmin was also, again, I can't stress this enough. Yasmin is convinced that she's going to make a name of herself. And this episode, was like, yes, sweetie, go ahead and make a name for yourself and see what happens. But Yasmin was convinced she's going to make a name for herself. So I don't think she took it for granted. I think she just stood, tall and believed that the best way to handle it was the way that she did to protect her journey to liking herself. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why she handled it that way.
But you know what? Also with Yasmin, and I always talked about my dad when we first started watching the show. He's 66, by the way. He be tuned in too. And he
Period.
be too. He
Come
be
on,
tuned in
demographics
too.
for industry.
Yeah. And so he used to be a director, and we both said when we first watched the first season, he even said it himself. He was like, Yasmin pigeonholed herself when she first got into Pierpoint as being a salad bitch. We call her the salad bitch. That was with me and my dad. We always said, well, she's a salad girl. And that's why she was too. And when Benicia came there, and she went. Benicia came in season 2, and she was like, "Oh, like you should get lunch for us." And Benicia said, "That's out of my job description."
Period.
She really gagged her, like to that point,
Gag. So
because
bad
you
that Yasmin had to be a hating ass bitch and try to cut her down. I couldn't
cut her
believe it.
down.
I
So
couldn't
it's
believe
like
it.
it's so weird. It's so that's why I said like I hate Asmin, but I also see like she's trying her best to make a name of herself, but she also has to be humble and be knocking down a couple of ninjas of her privilege to really see that. And I also want to go back to what Renee said about Rob real quick. Y'all definitely convince me about Rob. I I'm gonna look back. I
Got you.
definitely
We got you.
look back. But also too, the question you asked about like if you would leave your job right now, um, I'm a new grad myself, and I just got into a big four company myself. If I
Mm,
got sexually harassed tomorrow, I don't even know what I would do to a
exactly.
certain degree.
There you go,
That's
Sierra.
why I'm a new grad myself. So I would just honestly, I'm not gonna
And
say I would shut up, but I would have to make a very strategic understanding, like
a
Yasmin, to get
oh,
this
exactly,
my
damn
like
oh my
all
season
of
god.
them.
done.
Side
And
note, if
thank
you're
first of all, thank you so much, Sierra, for like being in this space. Like a lot of what we watch is about like how we identify with characters and how we relate and how we don't relate, and like finding empathy and finding like a way to like like redeeming qualities and stuff. So like I really respect and appreciate you sharing that because absolutely, right? Like you have a lot of like relatable, you're like little, obviously you're not like exactly like the characters, but you have like a lot of relatable kind of truths about your life. And I think for me, the most relatable truth about me when I'm seeing like these people that make money in a completely different way that I have my life from grad school and on, is that arduous conquest of liking yourself. Everyone is in dire need of liking themselves. And it is just this ongoing cyclical and sometimes viciously cyclical journey of trying to like yourself. And Yasmin is going through it. and Rob is going through it, and DVD is going through it, but fuck DVD. Kenny is going through it. Kenny has done an amazing job. I can't believe I'm standing that white man. He's doing great.
Is
At
that the
least
Irish? Is that the
attempting.
Irish man?
Yes, at least attempting to be a good person. Harper's obviously on this. It's tough. On this, you know, it, it's tough. It's tough to like yourself. And I think all these babies are just whomst among us at 23, 24 wasn't doing things that were well out of our comfort zone in an attempt to like ourselves or have other people like us. Go ahead, Renee.
Oh, I just wanted to say, Sierra, if you're like, because I'm in consulting too, I'm not gonna say where clearly, but if you ever need advice about how to protect yourself, because I was just telling Mo today about some shit I had to do today. I got my
Renee,
ops.
we gonna have to talk
Yeah,
offline because
no, like legit, like people don't like it. Like we can like legit talk about this. Like just I'll follow you. Like we can legit talk about like strategies on how to protect yourself when bullshit happens. But let's be clear: if I get sexually harassed today, tonight, right now, if it was 5 seconds, I'm not leaving my job. I can't afford this shit. I'm
Right,
just gonna be mad as
exactly.
hell. I'm just gonna be
And
mad as hell. I'm sexually harassed. Hope I can document
exactly.
it.
I'm not gonna be Rob. I'm not gonna be hard. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna take a couple of pieces from each of these characters. That's how I'm gonna act. I'm like, hold on a
But you
second.
know what
God
though,
damn.
the when you say money
Hold on.
speaks, like I'm a like I said, like I'm a new grad myself. I just started my job a month. Like it'll be a month this Thursday in the consulting tech industry or whatever. But seeing how money is spread or talked about or so influenced, it's like little stuff like being in this field that you just don't see. And it makes and there's so many parallels to in the industry, especially as since really because they're all
Exactly.
Gen Z. I'm 21 in this industry, so it's like these persons are like 22. I definitely like that interview process the
I
first
am
two
so proud of
seasons.
you.
Like I can see that I can relate to that interview process of being that hard. Like, cause I was doing that
Oh
myself,
my gosh, I love that.
but but the worst part about it is like the money aspect of seeing it. Like I remember we did an activity and we had like a common person that's community oriented, and we said, oh, someone who's community oriented, like their paycheck would be 45, 55K, and we presented that. I kid you not, the whole classroom erupted in laughter. There's people like, I would never, and I was like, hold on now, like I literally said, hold on now.
First of all,
I said, first of all, I
well,
literally said teachers make that social work. I said, I feel like it's a blessing to be in these spaces, but they're so people like the money talk. They're like, oh, my dad
well,
has a whiskey business,
well,
hibachi restaurant. It was a mess. But yeah,
first of all, what I was gonna say, first of all, congratulations. Um, and I'm very excited for you. I love to hear the journeys of young Black women. So congratulations on graduating. Yes, money talks, and I will tell you, I'm very young. Renee knows I'm very young, so I'm not going to speak too much.
She's 36.
Renee is the 38-year-old here. She's nearly 40. It's fine.
okay. Next thing is don't round up on Renee. Don't round up on her. She's 38.
A friend, okay? See, Mo, you might be my ops.
You know what? You offer one little bit of help in the workplace, and now everybody defending you. Anyways, as a young girl myself, Sierra, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, money talks. And as you go through your career, and I'm not, I'm sure you're going to hear this over and over again in many iterations of it, but money's only going to continue to get louder in these corporate spaces. And, like Renee said, reach out to her to find ways to protect yourself, ways to kind of manage yourself. I think it's great when Black women mentor other Black women, especially after being in the career for 40 years like Renee has. I think it's very important.
Ooh.
Renee mentors me daily. No, no, but for real, I'm really glad you shared that, and I'm really glad that industry and what we watch in these spaces that we host can really kind of open those doors for these connections and these conversations. And I'm glad that we were able to kind of. And here's the thing, like I said, you don't have to like Rob, fuck Rob, but like I'm glad that we were able to give you a little bit more language around like the way we spoke about him, right? And how we kind of understand Rob as a character, and how a lot of times when we're talking about someone suffering, we put the onus on them for a lot of like the repair. And a lot of times we need to talk about the people that are causing the devastation, right? Child,
Agreed.
I'm rereading James Baldwin, child, so like I'm in my
Uh-oh.
bag. And the authors of the devastation, all
Mm.
right? Like we need to focus on them. Go on reading fire next time again. So just, God bless me, child. I have been galvanized once again, all right, to protect Black people once again. It never stopped. But yeah, so anyways, congratulations to that. We talked about Rob, we talked about Gus, we talked about Yasmin, we talked about Harper, Eric, Jesse Bloom and his son. I think every character, um I think Rob went out the saddest. If I could close this out in the next 2 to 3 minutes, I want you to tell me who went out the saddest. And if you want to tap in for like a little hour conversation regarding the finale after we've all gathered our thoughts, Lizzie, I know you had a lot to say. But let's go around the room. Renee, I see your hand up. You can say one last thing, and then we'll go around the room. And thank you so much for those of you who listened as well. Please follow What We Watch Film TV. What We Watch Film TV Twitter account is 1 year old today. Woohoo! Round of applause. Congratulations. Thank you, thank you, thank you for rocking with us for a year now officially on Twitter. But Renee, go ahead.
I do want to say, like, Sierra, it's going to be so weird when you think about, like, what was that boy? Hari, when he died because he was stressed out over a PowerPoint. I swear to God, that shit was real life. The way
Yes.
chest be quaking, my chest be fucking quaking to try to make sure these fucking boxes are aligned. Oh
Let
my
me tell
God.
y'all, I walked out of the office for a second today to talk to Renee about a PowerPoint. Okay, I was like,
I,
mm-mm.
dead ass, yo. I said, oh
I
my
said,
God. I said,
Monique,
Mo, can you talk? I need to cry.
And we went to the PowerPoint workshop, and I was like, there was one girl I said she never did PowerPoint. I said, oh baby, like you finna get a rude awakening because I did this myself. But
the
even
way
myself, like,
Microsoft created a devil, they weaponized Microsoft PowerPoint. They
No,
have weaponized it.
one time my boss, like, I had like all these like dots to like represent a thing, and she was like, Renee, do you notice that this dot is red and the other dots are a red
Or
orange?
Crimson.
And it is the things like this that clients notice, and it makes the project cohesive. And I just, since I noticed this, you need to not go back through every single slide to make sure there are no mistakes and that all the dots are the same color. I said, I know y'all fucking lying. I know y'all fucking lying. Oh my God. Like, that's why I just want to give
They
praise.
weaponized Microsoft PowerPoint, girl. They did.
I want to give praise to like the writers because I swear to God, like my chest was clutched up. I was talking to my therapist about this. I was so stressed out. I said, Hari,
Over a PowerPoint.
and I'm
No,
black. They can't be stressing me
I'm
out. You
telling
know, we
you,
predisposed to hypertension and heart attacks. I don't like that.
girl.
But
And I love a catalyst for a character transformation or a character development. And boy, the way that mobilized Gus, that death mobilized nobody but Gus. Nobody else cared. Everyone was like, well, I guess we got to keep working.
but the going sad question outside of harpsichord, going sad because it was really sad. Like I don't know if y'all ever watched like or read the book of Mice and Men. It was kind of like when like he was like when George was like, George, like Lenny, let's go look at the rabbits. Let's go look at the rabbits. That's how the fuck that's how the fuck Eric did. Like it was like the sweetest slaughter. Like that was really kind of painful. Outside of that, I think that Yasmin actually went out the saddest because even
Broke
though,
gal, can't relate. Renee
okay,
said can't relate.
can't- okay, like would like listen, would I double take it a 221 bill too? Sure, but I'd be able to pay it. So I really can't relate. I really
You
cannot
can't.
relate to
The
Yasmin.
way that I cannot relate, you broke gal.
But like she went out like really bad because like her like even though most likely her loss of privilege, her current loss of access to money is temporary.
As we
She
all know. Mm-hmm.
right, she has no money. She went from like one very terrible boss who actually is on a redemption arc, right? Like and
Right.
actually trying to be a better person, like
Right.
shockingly, to another boss who, you know, Yasmin don't realize Maxim set her up to get used by Celeste intentionally.
Right.
It was a networking thing. So she was over here like thinking like, wow, this girl, this woman, she really fucks with me. She really likes me. Yasmin low-key thought she had power in the situation too when she heard that Celeste was like the less open one in the relationship. She was kind of turned off by Celeste. And little did she know that Celeste said in French, in the language she used to seduce Yasmin in the first place. Sweetie, the only like there's so many of you guys. There's so many of you. I could have another one.
The
She said, I could
way
have another one in a
and
minute. She
the
said, to the
way
left, to the left. Oh
the
my.
way that Celeste dismissed Yasmin, I said cannot relate.
She
I
lost
said
her
cannot
bitch and she
relate.
lost her money. That's down bad. You
You
lost
know
your
what?
bitch and
Here's the
you lost
thing.
your coins. Oh my
Let me
God.
let me tell you something. I cannot relate. Let me tell you how I can't. Let me tell you additionally how I can't relate. And Lizzie, you go ahead, go next. Let me tell you how additionally how I can't relate, Renee. Imagine me being down horrendous and going to the man that I used and abused and made sure that he needed me in every sense of the word and had he made me feel empowered. Imagine me. I'm going back to any other man except him, sweetie. Okay. Imagine me.
No, he was at her
No, no, no. You are
lowest.
going. You are always going to think I have power over you. You. Now I'm going to another dude that like me and him ended on like we cool. It ain't no we kind of on the same level or he is not the dude that like I'll have to flex on that is turned on by the fact that I'm flex. No, not going back to him.
And then
No,
Yasmin had to start apologizing to people because she felt real
couldn't be me.
cute. She
Couldn't be
felt
me.
real fucking cute when she had her money. Okay, when she found out
Mm-mm,
remember she felt real fucking cute and above it. Now she broke. She
mm.
apologized to Rob,
And,
rubbing shoulders with
now she
Harper,
rubbing
Kiki, and
shoulders with Harper. I have a real problem with that. Them writers, Mickey, you did that on purpose. Y'all did that on purpose. Mickey and Kay,
Mickey
y'all did that
to
on
come in,
purpose.
answer to your
Y'all did that on
crimes.
purpose. Why y'all got her smiling at Harper's face? She said, I've worn this hoodie 30 days. First of all, Harper ain't, or 30 hours. Harper don't wear her clothes for no 30 hours. Please leave Harper out of your little bullshit, little broke girl. Excuse you. That is disgusting. You stink. Look at
And
that
she
white privilege
apologized
still
to
working.
Venetia. And
She
she
needs to apologize to Venetia as well.
no, but she did. She
Oh, yeah, she did.
apologized to Venetia because she was so down bad.
You know how
She
down
went
bad you
out
got
real
to
sad.
be? That when you down that horrendous and the only person, she said she didn't have nowhere else to go. Rob? In your worst moment, you had Rob? Do you know how down bad Rob is, sweetie? Child.
No,
Yasmin,
like
that's what you
no,
get.
no. Yasmin is like so down. Like I've seen this happen before in life when like people have been like terrorists their whole life, and then like
Some shit
the
pop
Pied
off.
Piper, yeah, the Pied Piper comes for them. So they try to go through a redemption tour. They're like, oh shit, like maybe if I apologize to everybody, God will bless me back up. Like I need to redeem. I need to. I've sinned. I've sinned too much. Okay, like my ledger not clean. That's what Yasmin on. She really down bad.
Let Lizzie speak too, but yes, Renee, because I remember this one dude one time, some guy was like talking about how into Jesus he was, and I guess this man knew a lot about his past. He was like, "Yeah, it's always the people like you to turn to Jesus in these times." I'm like, "Cause you were so fucked up." Of course, you want to
What?
repent and apologize now. Some
No,
shit happened to you, didn't it? And I
no,
was like,
girl.
oh my God." And he
No,
was
like
like, "What?" Like, let me let Lizzie speak. Go ahead, Lizzie,
okay.
and then you could go, Renee. Go ahead, Lizzie. Who's the worst? Who was down
Sorry, sorry
horrendous?
to interrupt, but
Oh no, girl, you're on the stage. You're a speaker. Go ahead.
so so was it just me or was when Eric said like something about poison, and sorry, I was kind of tipsy when I was watching, but I was so energized. Um he was like, "Oh, something about poison," and then it cut to Yasmin, or was that just me? I was like, "Oh wow, maybe it's just drawing a parallel to Eric and Rob cutting out their poison, which is Yasmin and Harper."
And that's why Harper asked, "Do
Ooh.
you think I'm a poison?" Good
Mm,
call, Lizzie, because
mm.
I think they were very, because that's one of the first things Harper asked her when Yasmin was smiling in her damn face. Ooh, I couldn't believe it. Don't smile in my face, little
Yeah,
girl.
but the one thing that I gagged on was like, and one thing I was shocked of was when Harper was like having sex with Rishi. I don't know if you talked about that yet, but sorry if if you guys have talked about it. But I was like, my mouth dropped. I could not I could not contain myself. That scene, especially in front of like before his wedding. I was like, what the what? How?
That's gonna be a conversation for the Wednesday space because I
Oh,
have like 15 feelings regarding that, and I cannot right now.
okay.
But who went down the worst? And tell me, and then Sam and Sierra, you can go, and then we'll close this out. Who went down the worst?
I think it's Harper.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Just because
Sam,
Harper just draws like all my adrenaline. She just pulls everything out of me, and I'm rooting for her, but still, she just elicits all my like she controls all my energy in this series.
I'm about to say, girl, you are a fucking trooper drinking and watching this show. I don't know if I could do it. I'd probably throw up. I couldn't do it. I can't drink as it is. Child. Maybe I do need to have a little bit of wine with this episode, with this show. Sam, go ahead.
I agree with Renee with Yasmin, but I'm just gonna say DVD because my worst fear is my key card not working when I go into work. So
Agreed.
just for him that to happen, that was like so left field. Like that's my biggest nightmare. So definitely DVD.
Home
Yeah,
still my
can we talk about
best.
DVD next on Wednesday?
We're gonna talk about DVD. We're gonna talk about Harper and this ride and this Rishi situation. You have no idea how I feel about this. We're gonna talk about Rob's and go ahead, Sierra. Thank you, Sam.
I'm going with DVD as well. Like he kind of like he came in act like you think he was gonna be the villain, but he like every episode he kept getting sadder and sadder, and him also catching feelings for Harper, and Harper didn't give a fuck about that man. It's like damn, like you just going out sad episode by episode. So it's definitely DVD for me.
And let me tell you, I rejoice. I love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see him go out sad. I was like, that's what you get. That's what you get for trying to put Harper down because she didn't want to have sex with you no more. Or whatever she did, even though Harper was very evil about it. Couldn't be me. But love that. Love that. Thank you guys so much for joining today. Have a wonderful night. It's the school night. So enjoy, and I hope you guys have great days tomorrow. Thank you for joining What We Watch. We'll be back at it to talk about the entire season on Wednesday. Bye.